Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are you guys doing today? Wow, we are on day 11, y'all. And these days are just going. They're just continuing to just come and they go and they're coming and going. And I tell people that days are expensive. A day wasted is a day you'll never have again. Well, guess what? This is that fabulous fun Friday. Yep, fabulous fun Friday. And I'm joined with none other than Tasha Harding back here on our Effective Living platform. How are you doing, Tasha?
I am fine. Thank you for asking, Pastor Ricardo. But you're supposed to say, I'm here with fabulous fun, Tasha. Like, I
Come
need
on.
the adjectives. When you introduce me, you got to give me all the adjectives,
Look, I'm, I'm,
okay?
I'm, I'm gonna work it in, okay? I'm gonna work it in. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. You heard it from her mouth. I mean, listen, we're talking fun. We're talking about learning how to enjoy the journey. This is Effective Living. If this is your first time watching us, please subscribe to the channel and just go ahead, put on that notification bell, and give us a thumbs up if you're enjoying the conversation. But I wanted to talk with Tasha again about the role of fun in an individual life. Now, it's a Friday, and there are a lot of people who are getting ready for the weekend. Now, if you're anywhere in the Dallas Forward area, here Effective Living community, we're preparing for an event. Yep, tomorrow it's our Fitness in the Park in Arlington, Texas. This is going to be grand. If you want to have fun and you want to enjoy your weekend and you didn't have any plans, you should join us tomorrow right here in Arlington, Texas, for those of you in the greater Dallas-Fort Worth area. Now, Tasha, let's dive into our talk because the people aren't here to really look at me. I'm always here. They're here to look and listen to you. Tell our viewing audience before we dive into our talk a little bit about Tasha Harding.
Okay, so I'm a 20-something plus. plus. Author, actress, poet, bang bang wannabe comedian, and
Mhm.
I am my own life coach. That's me. What else you want to know?
Listen,
I am
go ahead, because we want to know.
I am the auntie mama to 9 nieces and nephews. I'm a proud member of the village. Um, for whatever reason, anytime I say the village, I just want to do YMCA. I don't know why. But that's me in a nutshell. I'm very family oriented. I love family. I love fun. I love people. I love to laugh and I love to eat.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a part of this show today,
That's
but
right. Listen, because if that's something you enjoy, let's talk about when did you started to realize who Tasha Harding is? You know, like this is me. When did you come into that? When did you came into a place where you were very comfortable? I like to laugh, I like to eat, I like family, and it is what it is.
ooh, so I was a late bloomer.
Uh-huh.
I've always been a proud member of the village. And I think at some point I actually kind of helped that molded who I was, like the villager thing. But when I realized that this is me, I am woman, hear me roar. I know I said I was 20 something, but I actually think it was closer to 30 when I discovered that. um, it took going through a few things in life, experiencing things and surviving some things to realize like this is who I am. I'm firmly planted, firmly rooted. What you see is what you get, and just walking that confidently.
You walk it confidently. Were there any time you can look back and say, "Boy, I questioned my confidence," and even though I was showing up, should I laugh as much? Should I eat as much? Should I be myself as much, or should I dim it down? Should I uh, pull back and be a little bit more reserved, or was it when you figured it out, and you never pulled back?
Oh no. You know what? I think part of the shifting would be mostly understanding your situation, right? I'm kind of a situational person. So I will say that depending on the room I'm in, the people that are around me, how open they are to the 100% of me, right? Everybody can't take me at 100 proof, but if I'm in a space where that's allowed and accepted, then I go all in, and I do pull back sometimes. And so absolutely throughout my life, I've always asked myself, okay, is this a good place? Is this a safe space to go in to be 100%? And you may have noticed, I just recently shared something that said, you have to be odd to be number one. It's a Dr. Seuss quote. And so there was a point where at first I thought, okay, I'm different. I don't fit in. I'm not like everyone else, and everyone else does it this way. And I found myself like itching, trying to like come out, break out of myself. And then one day I just decided that it's okay to be weird. It's okay. And weird for me is not a derogatory term. It's a term of endearment. It's okay to be odd. It's okay to be different, because often it's the ones who stand out that you see. It's not the ones who blend in. So I decided I don't want to be a blender. And the only blending I want in my life is when I'm making smoothies.
I decided I don't want to blend in. Now, Tasha, we're talking fun today. And to really embrace fun at its best, one must decide to be oneself. It's clear that you figured that out along the way. I want to share, I wanted to ask those questions, but I want us to embrace this as a talk on our journey to having fun, because there are a lot of people who dim their light in relation to enjoying themselves because they are evaluating too many external situations versus embracing the internal that says, I want to have fun this evening, or I want to have fun at this table, I want to enjoy this weekend, or today I'm about to raise the roof. That's what you're feeling inside, but you end up at a table that is filled with Debbie Downers. You end up in a meeting where people are all serious and stint. You're that type of person. I have found myself to be that type of person that's comfortable breaking the ice and going where no one is gone in a meeting to almost be the one to crack a joke. Talk about that, because some people need to do that. They're capable of doing that, but they haven't been doing it. Talk about that, being the weird one, the odd one, to step up to the plate and say, I'll crack a joke.
Well, so because I love people so much and I love connecting, I consider myself a connector. Because of that, I always try to find the common ground. So I don't necessarily say I'm going to go into this place and I'm going to turn up to 1,000. But when I get into a space and I read that space, most often my joking or my being my authentic self, or me, laughing or playing, is a way to connect with others as well. And to relax the room and relax the people around me. So a lot of what I do is intended to really make people embrace the space they're in and be present in that moment and recognize that it's okay to crack the joke or crack the smile, and just be. I mean, I think we spend too much time thinking about what we should be instead of just being who we are. And yes, I will be the oddball. I love it. You know what happens though is, before I thought, when people said, oh my God, you're so different, special, weird, those terms, or like, you're so much fun. And I would get that, and I thought, I mean, I'm just being I'm just being me. I'm just, I grew up in a big family. If you wanted to be seen, you had to be seen, like when somebody was crying and somebody was turning, flips like an acrobat, then somebody had to be the bang bang comedian. So I just felt like I was being me. But what I get more now is people saying, I love your spirit. I love who you are. I love what you bring. And that's not always like, pom-poms and turning cartwheels, which I can do, but it still is a level of being myself. It could be just a corny joke. It could be just flashing a really big smile or cheese, and it could be bubbles, Pastor Ricardo. So it's whatever it takes. It's whatever it takes.
There was a time, however, in our society, Tasha, the person who was a little bit too much into jokes in a room, the person who would talk and suggest idea to try to soften an atmosphere, often was talked down to, and there was this dominant feel of authority, be it the leader, the manager, the teacher, the instructor, who led without a sense of humor. So the person with the humor, for a long time in our society, look like they weren't serious and they were, you know, you're such a joker, you'll never make it in life. Did you ever have that moment? And do you agree that there was a time that that was prevalent, and we're now more in a time where people are embracing the fact that there are people like you and myself and others who are comfortable showing up and being ourselves? So the change that has occurred in our society, what's your view on there was a time that person in the room who cracked a joke actually got sent to the principal's office, got talked down to in the class, and got looked upon like, you know what? You're such a joker. Your future is not bright.
Oh, absolutely. I think our society has been homogeneous for so long. You know, you had the dominant ideal of what intelligence was, what it looked like to be clean cut, to be poised, and you had to fit into that mold. I mean, we were taught to assimilate. This is what the image was to be, and then you had to be that thing, and anything that deviated was wrong or broken. I think what we find more in our society now is that it's the differences, that if we can embrace those differences, that's where innovation is, that's where creativity is, that's where you can touch a broader base and you can actually touch people you ordinarily wouldn't touch if you just fit into the mold. So I have found that our society is shifting to a more diverse and inclusive culture. And that's warranted because we're starting to see that thinking outside the box is what's really advancing our society. And that's what's really building the relations between, you know, the different generations, different colors, races, creeds, nationalities. It is in our differences that we find a way to connect more with others as opposed to our commonality. Because thinking the same, living the same, being the same promotes the same type of outcome, which is what we've already seen doesn't work.
Yeah, I like that. Now, have you ever been considered the class clown?
No.
So,
No. So I don't know. Now I might not have work-life balance. I don't know. But no, I was never the class clown because so the way I was raised, my mom always told us to work first, play later, right? So get your job done and then turn up. Yep. So do both, but yep, do it in order. And so in school, actually, I was up until like high school, I was a straight A student, and I would get my work done and then get in trouble. But I was never the class clown because I still, you know, produced like a quality work product. And I was usually the one that was sent down the hall to go to, you know, run errands and stuff for the teacher because she just had to get me out of class. But never the class clown. I can say that I was nominated wittiest. Was my designation when I graduated high school. So I did get one of those little awards that people get. Now I thought it was the most beautiful, but I guess they didn't agree.
Yeah.
So, class clown, maybe. Yeah.
We have people watching us from around the world. I want us to dive into this whole concept of fun because there are a lot of people who aren't enjoying their lives. There are a lot of people, you'd be amazed. And they're just stuck and they watch people who could show up and be very engaged. As a matter of fact, there are people who they watch others have fun and they just almost are blown away because, oh my goodness, she knows how to have fun, how to enjoy herself. When would you say you learned the importance of having fun in life? When, let's talk about that again, because somewhere along the line, you got it that I'm not just going to merely exist. I'm going to enjoy the journey. When would you say that came alive for you?
Yes. So you said something. There's an Oscar Wilde quote that I like too. It says, what does it say? The rarest thing to live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people merely exist. Wow. So you said that, it made me think about that quote. I think for me, if I want to try to pin it down to a time in my life where it likely started, I got sick several years ago and I didn't know what was wrong. And I was going to, doctor to doctor, going to the oncologist, doing blood work, labs and things like that. And at that time I was like, oh my gosh, like all I've done was work, right? I didn't really take vacations. I hadn't really started to understand the importance of life. But when you see how short our time is and how limited, I mean, today is a gift that it may not be given tomorrow. So when I recognized that I was facing a potential illness, which everything was okay, but it helped me really put into perspective how valuable life is and how important it is to really be in the moment. And that experience for me is really, I think, I would say one of the main shifters for me in my life, because I don't want to live my life where all I do is work and save, but I never play, enjoy life, or engage others, or make memories. And then I look back and say, oh, I wish I had left work early that day, or I wish I had picked my nieces and nephews up. So going through that kind of life altering experience was one of the things that made me say, you know what, you don't know how much time you have here, so make it count. Make it count.
It's interesting you said that, because it really connects well with this question I have, which is based on a person sitting in the seat that says, I can't afford to have fun. What's your response to that? Because I heard what you just said, and there are some people who would say, I can't afford to have fun. What's your view on that?
You can't afford not to. Like, if you don't embrace that now, I think if you're not laughing and enjoying life and jovial to some degree and have some joy in your life, I think it actually, if you lose that light and starts to dim, you'll see that you start to gravitate to things, I think, that are darker and more negative. And I actually know a person like that who, later in life said, oh, I have all of these regrets and I wish I had, and I wish I did. And you look at them now when they don't have the ability to do the things that they've always wanted to do and they're wishing they had before. So I don't think you can afford not to have fun. I don't think you can afford not to enjoy your life. And fun is free. FREE. You get it on a 5-finger discount. I'm not telling you to be no klepto with fun or nothing, but I know I was telling you before we got started, I took a vacation with a friend. We planned it out. We mapped it out. We saved for it. We prepared for it. We budgeted for it. And then I showed up with bubbles for each of us and a Frisbee. She was like, only you, Tasha, because this is what I do. Like, at home, that's it. And then I go catch it. But this was like $1, and bubbles make everything better. There you go. That's it, $1. It's not about the cost. It's not about luxury vacations and Belize. It's about finding the fun and the joy within yourself and manifesting that outward. And then there's something else I do. I carry a deck of cards in my purse because my nephews are addicted to playing spades. And so anytime I pop up, instead of us running to the dollar store to buy a pack of cards, I always have some in my purse. They go, Auntie, you got your cards? Yeah. Okay, let's play spades. Free. And how many memories? They talk smack now. They telling me that they can cut me. They're going to beat me. And they're ready. Like, get your cards. Let's go. Free. I mean, $1 for this pack of cards, but this is on me at all times. So anybody that want to play spades, I got you right here. Hit me up.
I like that. I'll make sure when you come out to one of our Effective Living events, we're going to play some cards, guys. Tasha Harding, she's into cards. She carries her cards around. Let me ask you this. While we're talking about the affordable factor that's built into the idea that we can have fun from an affordable standpoint, a lot of people don't think of fun for free. And you just mentioned some really, really cool ways. Why should we push the envelope? Because a lot of times people can't afford to go to, like you said, to Belize, to the Bahamas, to Mexico, and so forth. But they could still have fun. What are some of the suggestions you would say, like as you just mentioned, to push yourself to inquire about the fun side of a town, fun side to the weekend, fun to your community? Or what's your view on pushing that fun side for free? Let's talk a little bit more about that.
So back when we were still in the office, we used to have people say happy hour was a state of mind. I feel like that's the same for fun. Fun is a state of mind. And again, it's what you carry with you. It radiates from within. So for me, I can go for a walk, just a random walk outside, and laugh at myself getting bit by mosquitoes because that's just what's inside of me, and it's free. I do random things too, to entertain myself and to entertain others. I know what I like, I know what I enjoy, and so I tend to gravitate to those things. One of the biggest things for me, if you're going to try to incorporate, a more fun existence into your space, is ridding yourself of toxic energy. And I don't use that term energy like people talk about stones and energy, but there are certain people who have toxic characteristics and toxic traits sometimes that can affect or damper your fun, right? Your state of mind. So when you start to clean up your space, you can start to see things that you enjoy more, and you can do things like play outside in the sun and throw a frisbee and catch with yourself, or laugh as you play with mosquitoes in the park while I'm running from them, because it's a state of mind, and I carry that with me. I try to embody that. And what else? What'd you ask me?
No, but in
keep
conjunction,
on track, Pastor Ricardo. Coach Ricardo.
no, you're doing great, because in conjunction with what you just said, let's talk about fun by yourself, because you just mentioned that throwing frisbee by yourself, or like you said, being at a park and running. I mean, you said it, and there's some funny to it, but the reality of it is there are some people who sometimes you don't know how to have free fun, but there are also people who are struggling with having fun by themselves. They think that the only way to enjoy life is with others. There are ways to have fun by yourself. Talk to us about that process one must learn to embrace.
Now, so I've never been certified as a life coach, just my own life coach. But to those people, I would say there's an element of healing that needs to take place in that space. You have to learn how to be okay with solitude. You have to be okay with oneness, and understand that being one doesn't mean that I gotta get it together. Being by yourself doesn't mean that there's a void. It means that you need to be comfortable within yourself and understand who you are and what you have to offer, and find that space where you can be happy with that, and enjoy that alone time. I cannot sing. Okay, let me just put this out there. I can't sing and I can't dance. Now, I will try to dance, but I don't sing in public. But you know what I do? I sing everything. I mean, my life is like Beauty and the Beast 2.0. You know how you had like the mugs and the dusters and everything talks to you and sings. So that's how I am in my life, right? When I'm getting ready to eat, I'm like, I'm about to eat me some crab legs, right? And it's just in that moment and no one is here. And then I laugh and go on with my crab leg enjoyment, right? But I know the things that I love because I've spent time with myself to understand what brings me joy. I love music. Music brings me joy. I love fresh fragrances and scents. Those things kind of open up my heart and mind and lift my spirit. So I typically will burn, fragrances that I enjoy, and I create the atmosphere in that oneness that allows me to dance at the kitchen sink when I'm scrambling eggs and nobody's watching, because I wouldn't dance like that in public. But I think that's what fun is in that oneness in that space, is just understanding what you like, what you enjoy, and incorporating that into your day-to-day. Naming your dishes, come here, Chip, bring me that cup of coffee. That's how we're going to talk to each other. Yeah. And it keeps the day interesting, for sure.
Yeah. You clearly, as you mentioned, the goal should be, I'm going to create the life I desire. And a part of that life being created is going to be built in with fun. But fun starts with me. Is that right? Fun starts with me. There are people like, oh my goodness, we can't wait for Tasha to show up to the party, because once she shows up, I feel like we can get this party started. You ever met those people who are like that? But how about, you know what? I'm not going to show up in a space where I don't bring the positive energy and engage myself to that space, be it with people or without people. So in other words, I'm home and I'm cleaning. I turn the music up and blah, blah, blah. And like you said, you're cooking and people like, what's going on? Are you okay? Of course I'm okay. I'm okay with myself, and I'm okay also with others. Talk to those people who, you started to say they need to do some work. Let's talk about that element of putting in some work to get there.
Yes, bring it in. My teleprompter went out. So let me help you. Let me bring it back. Okay. No, I think, and I guess what I was trying to say is that there's an element of healing that needs to take place for those who don't understand solitude and oneness. And I think the work, you want to put in the work to sit in that space alone and to have those conversations with yourself and to really learn yourself, because you can't be your authentic self with others if you can't be yourself with yourself. And
Wow.
so again, learn who you are. And I think the best way is, as humans, we want to connect, we want to belong. And so when we're dating or we're developing friendships, we learn our friends, we learn their favorite colors. We want to figure out how we can give to that partnership or that friendship or that love interest. Well, you have to start that with you. You have to know, what do I like? What's my favorite color? What makes me smile? What kind of energy takes, like, zaps my life, right? Takes the sun out of the room. And you have to spend that same amount of quality time with yourself to understand who you are, so that when you're not by yourself, you can be yourself and appreciate every part of yourself, regardless of the atmosphere you're in.
Tasha, I have been blown away by the reality that at 45 years old, I think when I started to turn it between 40 and 42, I started to realize that most of my life was being managed from the outside in. And so it really was more about what they said and what that said and what it was, just everything was outside. So and so there was so much disturbance because outside has a lot of dynamics related to it. I mean, when you think about how, oh my goodness, I should have cleaned my car. Oh my goodness, I should have wear this outfit because what they're gonna think. Oh my goodness, I wonder if this person, and then you start, oh my goodness, I didn't say hi to this person, and it was all of this outside stuff that was having me showed up at socials where I wasn't alive. And then at 42, about there, and I'm 45 now, I started to crack my neck like, I think I'm gonna just be me. Okay? I think at some point I need to learn to like me and I need to show up. And so I was in a meeting not so long ago and somebody said, that's not a word. I say, every year there's a new word created. Why can't that be one? Come on. You see? And there was like, the room light up, and there was like, oh my God, he's so funny. So I'm like, I wasn't even thinking I was funny, but the truth is, I'm not gonna let you try to come at me because years earlier, I would have been like, yeah, I should have definitely thought about a different word, right? And I'm like, you know what? I've studied enough that every year, at the end of the year, they talk about new words that were introduced. Selfie wasn't around as a word forever. You know what I'm saying? There's just so much words that are being introduced every year. So with that said, I want to go somewhere with this because this whole concept of self-discovery, the root of really having fun, because you can increase in age and still not increase in self-awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And so you've matured in acquiring certain levels of what we would call success, but from the inside there's this hollow, unaccepted fact of this is who I am and I show up strong. Let's dive into that a little bit more, because I'm finding that is so prevalent in our society today. And then when you see people starting to come out to be themselves, all eyes turn to them, either in admiration or in envy. What's your view on
Um, I do see, and Pastor Ricardo, forgive me, because you talked about eyes turning to those who start to evolve and understand who they are. And I think because we haven't always recognized what we had, or we haven't always been self-aware, what we had to offer, and been aware of who we were, and what makes us tick and what makes us incredible. I think we've shied away from the eyes. Like most people, you hear people say, I want to be rich and famous, I want to be a celebrity. But I think most people have that idea or that image in their minds, but really they just want to fly under the radar and they don't want the attention, good or bad, because they don't know what kind of attention it will draw. I think as people become more self-aware and they start to get the admiration for those, they'll value, sorry, I thought I lost you. They'll recognize the value of being their most authentic selves and understand why that was such a priority before. for those who draw the envy, I think it's just, to me, would be fuel and motivation to continue to be their best selves, because people only envy what they wish they had. And so continue to be that beacon.
Hold on.
Continue
People
to
only envy what they wish they had. Did y'all hear that, people? Tasha Harding, go ahead.
No. Hashtag no. Tweetable moment. No.
Yeah.
But I think with that envy, it should actually be the fuel and motivation for people to continue to walk in that vein of self-awareness. And I do think so often we spend a lot of time, including myself. I've spent a lot of time outside of myself, self-editing. What did this look like? What did that sound like? Did I say this? I mean, even today I was like, bring me back in, Pastor Ricardo, because I go all the way off in the deep end, but with no floaty. But I spend some time in that space, and that's not necessarily an unhealthy space for an individual who is aware and understands. And I don't want to sound contradictory, but with me caring about, hey, did you get it? Did it resonate with you? Do you understand it? Do I need to come back to that place again so that we can connect? Because what's important to me is when you leave this space with me, that I've enriched you in some way. And so my question isn't how did I look, but it's how was this conveyed, and did you get it? Because I want you to be enriched by this conversation, about this moment. There's a point to it, Pastor Ricardo.
I know there's some good stuff there, man. Hey, you're dropping it and you're delivering, and we appreciate it so much. Listen, I'm wanting to help. I want to help those that are watching, and I want us to start to realize, we're on a journey. We should make a commitment to enjoying that journey. You are into jokes, okay? The last time we were talking, you had a whole array of jokes that you shared. I was a little slow on jokes. I just want you to know I like the improv and I like hearing jokes. And you had the type of jokes that you got to be witty as well to be able to capture it. Did you bring a few of those favorite jokes so that our viewers can enjoy some of them?
Okay, Coach. I always got some in the arsenal, right? No. Yeah. Okay. Some of my favorites. Yes, I'm ready. Why did the turkey cross the road 2 times?
Why did the turkey cross the road? I forgot that I'm supposed to answer this. Can we let the viewers answer it in the comment section?
Well, it depends. If they know me, they probably heard it already. Okay, so why did the turkey cross the road 2 times?
2 times. Why did the turkey cross the road 2 times? Because
to prove he wasn't.
Say it again.
To prove he wasn't chicken. No. No. Okay. No. Okay. It gets better. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Why didn't the invisible man accept the job offer?
Because nobody could see him?
Because he couldn't see himself doing the job.
Okay. I like that. Okay, I got that one. I got it outside. Now listen, okay, the next time I do this, I'm going to make sure we have a panel plug it out some other people who are just quicker than I am. And so we have a couple of people trying to keep up with us. So go ahead.
How funny. Oh, man. Oh, what is it? There's so many. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. What kind of trees grow in bathrooms?
What kind of, ladies and gentlemen, what kind of trees grow in bathrooms? Somebody said, PR, I had the same answer. So there are some people who get right there. Okay. Someone else said, I have no idea, no clue. Okay. Come on, people. Y'all got to help a brother out. Okay. Okay. What is the answer? Trees. Hey, Angela Marks answered that, okay? Just so you know, Angela Marks did answer. Somebody said pine trees.
Pine trees. Toiletries.
Yes.
Okay. What is the slipperiest country in the world?
What is the slipperiest country in the world? I'm going to see who's going to pop that up. What is the slipperiest country in the world?
I did not say you could phone a friend.
No, I know, right? I'm trying. What is the slipperiest country in the world? Uh, help us out. Iceland.
Greece.
Greece. Okay. Okay.
So,
Angela, you were wrong. Okay. Um, it was Greece. Do you have another one for us? Devin, come on, answer that question next time. Uh,
um. Okay. Did you hear about the kidnapping in school?
no.
No. Everything's okay. He woke up. Wait. Oh, man.
See, I
Did you
told you.
hear about the person that, huh?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Did you hear about the guy that got his left side of his body cut off?
You
He's
gotta
all
be-
right now.
He's all right now. He's all
You're
right.
like, I see the wheels turning. You're like,
Okay, okay,
you're
okay.
like, stop it.
Hey, listen, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do a comedy night. I think I said this before, but I definitely want to make sure that I bring on a few other people so that I don't be like a deer staring in the headlight with these jokes. Okay, but Tasha, those are so good. You are
Cornier the
funny.
better.
You're funny. Listen, as we bring our talk in today, I wanted to help people understand you got to enjoy the journey, right? You got to enjoy the journey. You have discovered so many practical truths. I'm on a journey to discovering so many practical truths. Fun is different. Let's talk about the dynamics of fun being different, because the truth is people are different. How important is it for us to accept that reality? Because the truth is, you may say, this is what I enjoy, and I have a blast doing. Someone else may say something totally different. That goes back into self-acceptance and awareness. Let's talk about that for a minute, because we live in a society that sometimes says she is so boring or he is so boring, when the truth is he could just be different. She could just be different. And so, what's your view on that for those who are watching that needs to definitely dig in and identify, I do have a fun side. I just need to learn how to embrace it when I discover it.
Well, I think it goes back to what we said about just spending that time by yourself and knowing who you are. And I said, I know what I like. I like fragrances. I like music. I like to laugh. I like comedy. So I fill my space with those things, and it brings me joy. So I think one, we have to recognize that there's not one size fits all. Fun is is, like you said, going to be defined by different people in different ways. So if you don't spend time with yourself and know who you are or what you can appreciate, then you'll never know what fun means for you. So my challenge for people, if you want to have fun, is to learn more about yourself and understand what it is that makes you who you are, what makes you smile, what has you driving down the road and just chuckling to yourself as you recall some situation or encounter that you had. And then how can you recreate that feeling or that moment so that you can experience fun. I gave some practical things, what's fun for me, because I'm corny, right? And I've always been corny. I've been odd, as Dr. Seuss said, right? But I like bubbles. I've always loved bubbles. I used to blow bubbles with my hand as a kid. I know that that gives me joy. And for me, fun is twirling around with the bubble wand. But I know that because I've spent time with me to get to that place. I do think that we have been socially conditioned to accept what society says is okay, what society says fun is. Like, we gravitate to the new thing. We gravitate to, new social media platforms and new filters and new clothing styles. And we let some few people define what these things look like for us. But we have to decide for ourselves. We have to be our own life coaches. And when I give myself, I was like, girl, get up. You're going to have a good day today. Like, drop it, give me 10. But I have to do those things because I have to remind myself that I am in control. And from you know how I am, but from a spiritual perspective, if life is about confessions, if we have what we say, then fun starts with you declaring, I'm going to have a good day. I'm going to have fun today. I'm going to learn more about myself today, and start that confession so that you can start to see what you said. because we can't see what we don't say, right? We'll never see it manifested. So I think that's the best way I can answer your question.
So good. You can't see what you don't say. I really, really like that. How do you deal with the haters who have a problem with your energy, what's your response? Because I mean, the reality of it is, some people don't like your bubbliness. Some people won't like your laughter. Some people don't like, look how he shows up in the room. Who do he think he is? You know what I'm saying? And you be like, let's do this, right? And so there are some people who want you to turn it down, but and you're aware of it. I'm asking you to help someone, and I mean constructively. In your view, how have you dealt with it, even if not now because you just outright don't care, or you're at a place where you choose just to dismiss them, but in the early stages when you started to realize, should I pay attention to them, or should I rise above that energy that they're trying to bring to me and be me again, once again, from an assistance standpoint to helping those who may be going through that? Because I know people, they have an energy in the room, but they show up in the room, and all depending on how certain people respond to them, they shut down. And some of us, we can have parents who are still like that. I mean, you're an adult and your mom, Tasha, you know what I'm saying? Like, in other words, or you have gotten to the place where you say, Mama, I'm gonna be me, So no matter what, girl, love you, Mom, but I'm gonna still be me, right? That's a place to get to. Some people still don't know how to get there. What do you say to the people who are giving off negative energy to your way of expressing life from a fun standpoint?
That's a good question. So, I think, for one, it is important for us to always be our most authentic selves wherever we are. However, I think we have to understand, everyone doesn't deserve everything we have to offer in every situation either. So, yes, I'm situational.
Yeah.
But if I enter into a room, or I've had coworkers who brought that energy, and somebody say, "Hey, sunshine, hey, sunshine," and somebody says, "She can't be that happy. Ain't nobody that happy." And I just go, "Hey, how you doing?" And I sprinkle you with a little sunshine, and I let you know that your darkness is not going to dim my light, and I keep moving. In a long-term situation, like I said earlier about making sure you clear your space of like toxic people or toxic traits, there may be a time where you have to decide that if you have to be constantly around a certain type of mentality for your own peace, you might have to cut that cord or sever that tie, or put boundaries around how often you can engage that person, because over time it will wear on you. So short-term coworker situation where you may be in the room and someone has some energy, keep doing you, because to me, I think the light is always going to brighten up a dark space in a dark room. Long-term, in a situation where this is someone like a parent, maybe you have to live with or talk to on a daily basis, you might have to establish some boundaries so that you come in like, this is who I am, this is how I'm gonna be. Okay, but you got 5 minutes. Love you, holla, and keep it moving before they can pour some water on your fire, So that's how I feel about that.
And there are some people who will pour water on your fire. I like what you said. I'm not going to let your darkness dim my sunshine. Wow, what a statement. I mean, that's a confession that a person who understands that some environments, there are people who are in a dark place, their whole life is built around expressing themselves from an unhappy sense, or their expression does not work well for living life from a fullest standpoint. So you have to decide. No, and that is, I think, Tasha, do you agree that that's not even something you have to say to them? It's just something you have to accept within?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, I don't. I like to say what's understood doesn't have to be spoken. So if you get to that place, I don't think it's like, okay, I'm setting boundaries. You're bad for my energy, so I can't talk to you but twice a week. But you just manage that. You have to manage the expectations in that space. You manage how you engage and interact in that space so that ultimately they don't plant those toxic seeds in you. And that, like I said, that's from a long term. If you have, you know, a parent or sibling or someone that you can't get rid of, so you have to, you have to continue to shine and be who you are, be engaging, be loving, be giving, and sprinkle. But you might have to set the boundaries for how much time you'll be in that space.
Yeah. Let's. I have some questions coming in. If you have some questions for Tasha, guys, drop those questions in the comment section, and I'm going to ask Tasha these questions. They're coming in, Tasha. But before we go to the questions in the comment section, I have a question for you. There are people who apologize for being themselves a lot. You know, and help a brother out. I've had to take some time to learn how to stop apologizing. I chose not to. And sometimes even not responding in a way that actually tried to speak as a form of clarifying. I just had to be, you won't understand, you're not understanding, I'm not going to even try to go there. I'm okay. What's your view there?
Ooh. So that is an issue that I have struggled with and honestly continue to struggle with. If I'm going to be completely honest with myself, I think that I use the apology as a diffusing statement oftentimes. But for people who have to apologize and who say, "Oh, okay, my bad. Oh, my sorry. Oh, I'm sorry," I think that there's something in that says that maybe there's a place of healing, place to heal, because you don't have to apologize for your existence. You don't have to apologize for who you are. You don't have to apologize for someone not recognizing or understanding your value or your worth. And like I said, for me, I would love to give you pointers, but ever so often I have that moment where I have to catch myself and I start saying, sorry, not sorry. If you hear me say that, I'm like, no, I'm not sorry, because I'm not apologizing for who I am. But I do, I would say to the people who do apologize for who they are, for their presence, again, just understand your value, your worth, and what you offer, and you never have to apologize for being you. And if someone doesn't understand that, you don't have to apologize for that. You can meet them, you know, in the middle and have the right conversations, but there's no apology warranted for you being great and for being awesome and just being who you are.
I like it. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to the questions section. Tasha, the questions are coming in. They're coming in. We have a question here that says, how do you handle people who claim not to like you and don't even know you, but judge you? Come on. What's
This is what I say to those people.
Yeah,
bubbles make you feel better. No, I don't care. If people don't know me, if they don't like me, they don't know me.
Yeah.
And I can't spend the energy on those who don't like me. There's too many people in my life who are great, who are supportive, who are loving, who keep my world turning, who deserve my energy. I can't focus on someone who doesn't take the time to get to know me and makes a prejudgment or determination about who I am.
Yeah.
They keep following, they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
You don't owe an explanation.
Excellent. Next question. Do you ever have days of depression? How do you deal with it, if you do?
So recently, no. Have I ever? Absolutely. Do we all? Yes. There are times when I feel like things didn't go according to plan. You know, whatever that situation was. For me, it is so important that I just I kind of have that pep talk with myself now, because I really am learning and understanding the value of confessions. So I have days when I get up and I just speak to my computer, my monitor, and I'm like, I'm gonna have a good day today, and you're not gonna get me, devil. This job is not gonna wear me out. And so I have to talk myself and coach myself through those days. When I start to identify that, I don't wait for it to get hard for me to get out of bed. If I start to see myself feeling anxious or nervous, I go ahead right then. I say a quick prayer. I speak to that thing that I feel is coming against me, and I also will make sure that I have a village. And I said this the last time, but I have people around me. So when I'm not feeling my best self, I'm reaching out and saying, "Hey sis, can you pray with me? Hey sis, I'm feeling whatever today." And I have people around me that I can be transparent with, which is so vital. And anybody's life, you need to have one or two people that you can take the mask off and you can be truly naked with. And if you don't have a person naked, not not naked, but but if you don't have a person you can truly be naked with, then I think you'll be more susceptible to things like anxiety, depression, being overly stressed. And so get your village, find your tribe, say your prayer, and speak to that thing that's coming against you before it ever even takes a root and starts to grow.
Wow, that is so good. I have another question for you. These guys are sending them in. I got a text question, and that is, what advice would you give to those that are around you that you commonly see making mistakes that are not from a fun life standpoint? So they said, the people around you are not having fun. You see them, you're a person who have fun. What is the common mistakes that they're making that you feel as though they should change? Like, I guess they're not in a good place, but you're seeing that.
Yes. When I see those things, the people who I see, in my space around me who aren't having fun typically take themselves too seriously. They, they don't take enough naps. They don't take enough breaks. So when I talk to those people, for those who allow me to be an advisor in their lives, those who come to me and ask for my opinion, I definitely will share, you know what, you have to, when you look at any situation, you have to decide how much time and energy you want to commit to that thing and if it's worth it. What I've learned personally is not to sweat the small stuff. And so when I see people and they're really just like, oh my God, and she looked at me the wrong way, and it was just the wrong look, and it was just the look, and you're just so serious. And I thought, but what was the rest of that night like? What was the rest of that event like? And so my encouragement always to people who are not having fun is to consider the good things and not the negative things that they tend to focus on that keeps their lives from really just thriving in that way. And like I said, I see that they're just taking it too seriously. They're just not incorporating enough of the breather or the relaxation or the naps or the cheat meals. They're not incorporating enough of that into their lives. I'm like, just let go. You can't fight every battle.
Wow. That is so good. It pretty much connects itself so well to my final question, which is, what does effective living look like to you from a fun standpoint? And you said so much that in some way it sort of answered the question, but I still want to close to hear what you would say from a holistic standpoint when you think that person is enjoying life's journey. Uh, how would you describe it?
I honestly, I think I would take all of the nuggets from our conversation today. I would start with a person who effective living to me is a person who has spent that time and put in the work to get to know themselves and to truly love themselves so that they can be themselves. And in that being, you'll see them enjoying life. You'll see them enriching life and being enriched by life. And you start to see like they begin to thrive in that space because they've spent time with themselves. And so an effective life for me is a person who's comfortable in solitude and oneness, a person who has a strong foundation, a faith foundation, a person who has a tribe or a village where they can be transparent and be naked and it's okay, and a person who carves out time to have fun. If it's bubbles, if it's cards, if it's cartwheels in the park, if it's taking a nap, if that is the highlight of your life, you should put that in your day every day. Take a nap twice a day. So 2 4-hour naps twice a day. Who needs to work, right? So effectively is incorporating those things into your space and operating fully in joy and peace and love. That's loving yourself and loving others, letting the joy radiate from inside you outward, and just making sure that you are eliminating toxic places, toxic things from your space so you can truly, truly have peace. I think peace is like, for me, the foundation of fun. When I'm anxious and uptight and tired or frustrated, it's hard for me to let go enough to really enjoy a space or a moment. But when I have peace, internal peace, and peace in my home and in my environment, I can turn cartwheels 3 times a day, 8 days a week. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can just let go because I'm not so consumed and overwhelmed with things that bog me down. So I think effectively living is finding that peace and finding that space.
I love it. Tasha Harding, it's always a blast to have these conversations with you. We're gonna have to make you a regular. Ladies and gentlemen, she's back. And Ricardo brought in some friends to help him out with the joke section because I got to learn how to keep up with the jokes, Tasha. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow we're having an activity before we bring our talk to a close. I would love to invite you to Arlington, Texas, guys. We have an event. I mentioned it early on. It's worth mentioning it again. It's our fitness in the park. And I want as many of you guys to join us. If you're in the area, don't miss it. It's a cool event for the entire family. 8 o'clock in the morning. Everything ends at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. So you still get a chance to do what you got to do. In addition, if you have not gotten our book, the book Effective Living, it's the book of the year, it's the book of the decade, it's the book that's going to carry you in from one season to the next, because you should be monitoring and managing yourself in a way to ensure that your life is improving over time. So once again, I'm challenging you, if you have not gotten your copy of Effective Living, get your copy today at ricardomiller.com. If you're joining us tomorrow, put a comment in the comment section and say, Ricardo, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. The tribe, the Effective Living community, we're connecting again tomorrow morning in Arlington, Texas at the River Legacy Park. It's going to be great. If you have not gotten your book yet, I'll be signing books out there, or you can bring your book if you have already gotten it, because you may have gotten it from Amazon or some other distributor. I'll sign it out there if you have it. So God bless you guys. Tasha, this was fun and this was helpful, and a lot of people thoroughly enjoyed themselves.
Thank you. Thank you. I felt like when you invited me back, I knew you got my check, that sizable check. I said, he must have got my check. I get to come back again. Yes. No, I don't have no more money, so I'm just kidding.
I know, right?
I didn't pay for this slot, y'all. Just no. Pastor Ricardo was like, Tasha, stop. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you to your viewers who are watching. Hopefully, again, this is something that was enriching. And if you make me a regular, I'm gonna keep working on my jokes. I got 135 dad jokes in my brain.
And people who said, man, listen, she's ad-libbing the jokes. She's just bringing the jokes up. She's like, and a lot. So you're really good at what you do. So thank you very much for being a blessing to our audience. We'll definitely want to have you back and share more jokes, because you're the only person who comes and share jokes. And I need somebody to share jokes. We have a whole space within the Effective Living platform built around fun. And laughter is connected to fun, right? And laughter is really, really good for you. And so thank you very much for showing up.
Thank you, Coach. And if I could make it tomorrow, I'll be there so I could turn this frown upside down, or turn this bicep into a tricep, or turn this tricep meat into a bicep.
No, right? You're gonna do something with it, right? God bless you, Tasha. Thank you very much, everyone. Don't forget, like the channel, give us a thumbs up, and invite somebody to check out this talk if you know they're needing to challenge themselves to bring some life to their life. God bless you all. Have a great night, everyone.
Have a good one.